Hello everybody, Ekop here, and today I'm coming at you with some great news that some of you have probably already heard, that Herald of the Sun is getting a PvE buff, which also does apply to PvP. And I think for PvP, these particular buffs, they make up for exactly the weaknesses that Herald of the Sun has in PvP. Coincidentally, I don't know if it's intended to cover both PvP and PvE, but coincidentally, they make up for the weak burst that we have in PvP. So we look at the first one right here. Gleaming Rays now increases the damage of Holy Power spenders by 15% while a downlight is active. Also, originally this was 5%. So it's a 10% buff to our final verdict. And compounding with what we got in the previous buffs, this is actually gonna amount to a lot. So our Holy Power spenders are now gonna be hitting really hard, which is exactly what we want. While a Dawnlight is active, that's gonna be mostly during your wings, and that's gonna be when you're going to be putting most of your damage out. So this is amazing for burst. This is good because burst is something that Herald of the Sun critically lacked. Now, Sun's avatar damage increased by 50%. Amazing. This is also something that you get during your wings. So I will go a little bit into how much our different abilities deal in PvP and how much this is going to impact our go. But I can tell you that it's definitely going to impact the damage on our go a lot. And then we have the Dawnlight damage increased by 40%. This is also something that we really want to see. This is something that's up more or less almost fully. Whenever it's on a single target, it's almost, it's very high uptime, like 70, 80% sometimes. But it really depends on how you play. But it's definitely up on our go. So this is, again, more damage throughout our go. Now, if I go a little bit to the breakdown, I did this on a target dummy here. So it's a little bit skewed towards the Templar Slash and Templar Strike because you almost never get those off. Most people don't play them. I play them. I play Templar Strikes because I enjoy them, but I don't think they're that good right now. So one of the comments would be that this could definitely use a buff, at least revert it to the original state where it was actually bugged and that the dot was dealing like more damage than the slash itself. That would be amazing. That would, especially for Herald, of course. But now let's get back down to the breakdown. Just with that note that this is usually going to be way less represented. Other than that, this breakdown is kind of similar to what you would see, with a little bit maybe also biased Hammer of Wrath, because these dummies are they get low, right? So other than that, it's pretty representative. Usually you receive Final Verdict Judgment on top, and then Dawnlight on the third place. And then depending on how you spec, you will see Blade of Justice or Hammer of Wrath. Depends on whether people play, double Blade of Justice or double Judgment. Like, so I play double Judgment just because I feel it more comfortable. But most people, they play double Blade and single Judgment. Now, I think that's a combination that does deal more damage. For sure. However, we're almost at this point, the range class, we're being kited around a lot. I do enjoy having that 30-yard range on Judgment. So 10% on final verdict, as you can see, it's 10% buff, almost with full uptime, right? On single target. You see that as long as you're focusing only one target, you're gonna have like, in this case, I had like 82% uptime on Dawn Light. So that's almost a flat 10% buff to final verdict. It's amazing. It's now going to be hitting very reasonably hard. Now I would argue it could still use some buffs since it's a finisher, but they've definitely been doing a lot of work on final verdict, and I'll definitely take that. Now Dawn Light, the 40% buff will potentially take it to number 2. It will, you know, in some situations when you're being kited, it could even be our number 1 damaging ability. So that is also huge. And as for Sun's Avatar, this, like, for overall damage, this is still gonna be a relatively low damaging ability, but also in terms of where it is with respect to the other abilities, is gonna also skyrocket in the ranking. And it's something that we will have on our go. Now, this brings up a point of, against cleave teams, maybe it will be worth applying the Dawn Lights and therefore the Sun's Avatar with Divine Storm. Only time will tell, because then you get longer uptime on the Dawn Lights on the whole team, and therefore you could potentially, with a little bit of luck, get more hits on the Sun Avatar, like hitting one target with 2 different rays of the Sun's Avatar. So this is something I'm gonna try. I haven't done the math on that, but this could definitely be an option as well. But for now, I think I'm just gonna stick with single target, and we'll see how it goes. Now, I don't know whether Herald of the Sun will become viable in 2s. Right now, it's only viable for damp comps, right? So usually, if the other player is like a Frost Mage, then that's the point where you're gonna want to use Herald of the Sun in 2s. For 3s, I almost exclusively play Herald of the Sun in 3s. So for me, this is going to be excellent. And lastly, we'll just have to see whether this can outperform Templar in 2s. Personally, I don't think so. I think it would be, it would have to be a bigger buff, but there will definitely be more situations where I play this. All right, that's it, and I'll see you on Wednesday, probably on the stream, and we'll definitely be trying this out. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.